Get ready to gain valuable insights, practical tips, and expert advice to improving your overall well-being as we discuss all things health, the holistic approach for your spirit, soul, and body. Welcome to another episode of the Health Talk Show. Come on in. Like, share. Thank you so much for coming in and tuning in to the Health Talk Show. Your host, Pastor G, and I'm so excited about this particular show as we are in the month of March and it's the beginning of the year. And there may be some people who may have started strong, but now they're struggling. They started strong, but now their motivation is down. And so this show is going to help you with staying motivated. And we're going to talk to a health expert in her field in regards to health and wellness. So I'm excited about this show. So you have time to come on in and bring somebody in and share this episode because there's people on your platform that is going to benefit from the information that we share today. So you still have time to come in. And if you missed February's episode, oh my gosh, you have time to go back to that show and all of our shows that you can watch from the past and even last season is on our YouTube page, which is called The Health Talk Show. In February, we dived into dementia, we dived into Alzheimer's, we dived into a serious matter. And information was shared about signs, what to look out for, what took place, and all of that. So if you missed any of that, I welcome you to go back to the YouTube page to get that information. Well, without further ado, I'm going to bring on my special guest with me on today. Hold on. Hello. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Good. I am so excited for you being here. I have known her for many years of my life. And for the audience who may not know, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you, Pastor Janine, for having me on today. My name is Jorea Florent. I'm 47 years old and mother of two wonderful boys, young men, 23 and 16, which I take great blessings and pride in of being their mother. I am the daughter of Superintendent Joseph Webb, is how me and Pastor Janine met each other in church years and years ago. Yes, I appreciate you for having me on today. I am a wellness and fitness coach. I do not do anything with wellness and fitness full time other than my own lifestyle, and I never have. But I've been trying to be very intentional in my life with trying to help people stay motivated, consistent, and understand there are a lot of different methods out here, but I do have tools that help you stay committed and consistent and enthused about a health fitness journey, health and wellness, as well as a lifestyle. So,
Awesome. You hear that, people? She's willing to help you. And I know that people who come on this show want that help. And so with that, I'm going to dive in right into some questions for you. What inspired you to step into health and wellness? Was there a personal journey behind it?
Absolutely. So, because we are women of God, and I've always tried to be very intentional about my journey and walk with Christ. So first, to me, my body is the temple of Christ. Therefore, I felt like even as a young girl, 14 years old, throughout my high school, years, I was into weightlifting and fitness. I didn't do all the girly stuff, the cheerleading. I tried all of it. I wanted to play football. I wanted to lift weights. I wanted to do things because I was obsessed with muscle. Like I would get those muscle books, um,
Ah.
bodybuilders in there as a young girl, and I was obsessed with how do how do you obtain these many muscles? I was like obsessed with it. I don't know why, but I was. So my father and my mother did not allow me to play girls football. I wanted to play girls football and they wouldn't let me. So I trained with football players in high school. And I had a coach, and he was very intentional. I attended Egan High School, Blue Ribbon School in Egan, Minnesota, and it's a robotics school. So it's pretty difficult. And I found things that interest me, you know, even before and after school. I love lifting weights. And with that, you know, I was always smaller frames. Like if you know me, I'm 5'2". I'm not a big person, never been a big person. But I lifted a lot and I ended up getting hurt. I was
Oh.
too much for my frame. And one day I was putting on a belt to lift, to squat, and I was squatting at the time, probably almost 300 pounds on my back with a weight band. Extreme strong legs. Yeah, I'm 5'2". I was probably 120 pounds, just tiny, but I could squat a lot because my legs were so strong. And when I was putting on my belt, I felt something. I called my coach over. I said, something doesn't feel right in my stomach. And he felt it and he was like, stop, put everything down, take this off. Immediately rushed me to the nurse. She immediately rushed me to the hospital. I went into immediate surgery. Freaked, freaked me out. I didn't know what happened. I had busted a muscle in my stomach and it popped out of my belly button. And I did not know this, nor did I know that it was life threatening. And I went to the hospital, had immediate surgery for them to push that muscle back in to my belly button to repair that muscle.
Wow.
It completely killed my dreams of bodybuilding. And so it took me probably a year to even recover from that surgery because it's a muscle in your stomach, and I was smaller frame, so it took my body longer to recover and gain strength in my stomach again. So I couldn't lift. I couldn't lift, and I was
Wow.
told I couldn't lift the amount, especially the amount of weight that I was lifting. I was really discouraged. I felt like my childhood dreams were shattered. So I found interest in aerobics. And so I just learned that aerobics don't address the muscle groups that I was really intentional about, you know, and
Mhm.
physical about. But I studied it and I actually went to college for personal training. I did personal training 1 and 2.
Let
And
me ask you this before you continue, because I feel like somebody in the audience may have the same question.
mhm.
Because you were training the way you were training, what do you think was the issue that this happened? Was it too much weight on your body? Did they ever tell you why it happened?
Yep, good question. Because and this happens too, which I'll get into a little later, with when people start something and can't finish, and things that happen, especially with injuries. Um, the coach had completely, you know, he told me I could not lift anymore because, again, it's a liability, and it was definitely too much weight,
Oh.
and I was pushing myself because I seen something and I went for it and I was doing way too much for my body frame. And when I see these things in the gym, people maxing out and struggling and grunting, and I literally am like, put that down because that is not proper lifting. And so, especially with women, we're made different. And when you put too much on muscle groups, it can cause serious long term injuries. And so, I had to regroup and find another way to maintain my figure and to maintain my muscles and to maintain being physically fit because I thought weights was it. I thought that
Right.
was the only way to get muscle groups and things like that. So when I went to college for it and did my personal training 1 and 2, I learned a lot. And because they knew my background in doing aerobics, weightlifting, all that. They actually had me instructing in my college class. And they were pretty intrigued with the knowledge that I had regarding the experience of actually wanting to be into bodybuilding and then being injured and having to stop and regroup and finding another way. And again, there's CrossFit, there's biking, there's spinning, there's aerobics, there's yoga, there's hot yoga, there's, I mean, multiple of things that you can do to stay physically fit. So I found my niche in my own body weight to build muscle. And I created a workout regimen. I did Tae Bo. I did I don't know if you remember Billy Blanks.
Yes. Yes.
Loved him. I used to do
Yes.
Glide. Remember Glide was on the beach. I used to do him. And I learned calisthenics that way as well. Calisthenics deals with your own body groups, your own body muscle weight to keep your muscle weight. So when people think they need all these weights and things like that, I was so intrigued by just learning it. I got into that. Most of the people that were in my personal training classes in college was massage therapists, which, yep, they had to learn muscle groups, they had to learn nerve systems, which I learned all of that. And I actually started to implement massage therapy with my own fitness business because, hey, if you're doing all of this, people don't understand. Why am I sore here? Well, you need a massage. And I know how to do that, right? So it comes with a lot of things. Health and wellness isn't just working out and getting a good sweat. It's if you have injuries, if you have other things, even age, contributes to sore muscles. It contributes to if you're putting on too much muscle or too much weight, even it will eventually cause other problems. And I was able to address these issues young and learn not just my body, even the whole conversation, a whole nother show on menopause. Our muscles do something totally different when you hit a certain age. And so I was very intentional about this. What made me really, really, really intentional about the coaching piece was when my father had heart attack. He lived in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I started to research, and I actually gained a position with the Mayo Health Clinic as a digital health advocate to help people who struggle with heart disease and heart health. And I started to, and it's caused by things like obesity, diabetes, and I heard that you did a show on that. That's a whole nother topic on, I researched how many, even with Black and white people, 31% of Black adults have gym memberships in Minnesota. And then there's 6% in America that have, 12% in America, all of America that have gym memberships. That's really low compared to white Americans. 66% of white Americans actually have gym memberships throughout America. And it's significantly low and imperative that, people of color are the highest rate for heart disease. And it made me more interested in learning about the coaching aspect of heart health in general, our bodies, how our body changes as we get older, health habits, eating habits, and tools that help us long term. So it's not just what we look like on the outside, because you can look great, but in the inside, you can have a whole bunch of stuff going on and you don't even know it or do know it and you're addressing it. So I don't just, I don't tell, to look great, you need to be a size 2, you need to be a size 4. No, that's not realistic. That's not the correct way to coach. I believe that you can be a wonderful, healthy size 14, 16, believe it or not.
Yes. And let me just say this to the audience. She's shared a lot so far. And what I want to say is that health starts really within. And it's not, and I think that sometimes people feel like I want to be a certain size to look good and to feel great, but health starts in the inside. It actually starts in the mind, the mindset of the individual. And then it's a self-examination of why. Like, why do you want to do this? Because if it's superficial, then your desire and your motivation is not going to last. You're going to start your journey in a superficial way.
Mm-hmm.
where you're constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. And so this is a good time for you to see, why you want to do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
It and why not? Some people have an obsession of the want to do, and then there's people who don't want to do. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like
Mm-hmm.
why you don't want to do, and you want to examine that because health is important in your spirit, soul, and body. This show it talks about all three aspects. And
Mm-hmm.
so we want to be able to share with you information that will help you all over from the inside out. And so
Yes.
let me ask you this, from your experience, what are the most common mistakes people make when starting a fitness journey? We touched on it just a little bit about, the superficial why, but in your experience, what
Mm-hmm.
are the most common mistakes people make when starting their journey?
I would say, in all transparency, not setting realistic goals and looking at like how I did. I was looking at magazines, I was looking at books, I was looking at, oh, that's going to be me, or finding some form of aspiration that encourages you. And then you're not starting from day one. So a lot of people don't realize, like, even before getting into a very strategic, maybe I don't like to use the word diet, but change of life plan, you just can't just get into it. You know, there might be a detox that goes with it. There might be a mindset that goes with it. Like you said, I implement as well in any type of coaching. There's a spiritual aspect of it because, for one, if you haven't been doing right all along and you just jump into something, to things that started again. So, say, for instance, one of my practices is no soda. Simple, right? Um, and you just cold turkey it, and you can do that and you feel good about that. That's
Mhm.
great. But you cold turkey it for a week and you're just like, no, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. And in the studies of, I have a meal plan on my website, which we'll talk about later. I have on there all of the benefits of everything that I have you putting inside of your body. And so if you don't know the damage that things do to your body, even lack of sleep, you know, if you say, okay, I'm going to try to have 6 hours sleep, but you should have 7 hours of sleep, how do you take baby steps to
Right.
get into your journey? Because I think sometimes people are taking these huge leaps and then it's not going to be successful because it wasn't thought through. There was no plan. Like anything we do in our life, becoming a parent, getting in a new relationship, going to a different church, getting married, getting divorced, getting, a new job. It's a process and all of that. But when it comes to
Mhm.
our health, we just jump into something without doing research, without learning or getting the support that we need or the coaching that we need to make sure we're successful. So I think sometimes, and there's different minded people, some people are stronger than others, which is fine. But sometimes I think the goal and that we have, the long-term goal, isn't a realistic set, and we are saying, in 3 weeks, I'm going to be down 50 pounds. Oh, wonderful. But okay, are you going to be healthy after you do what you're doing? There are things I do, if I need to snatch up real quick, that I would never advise someone to do because it may not be the healthiest thing, but I know how to overcome these barriers. I wouldn't suggest it because maybe somebody has a low sugar count, maybe somebody's cholesterol is off, maybe they are diabetic, maybe they have an injury, and I think when people get into coaching in a gym and get trainers, are they really intentional and really care about what's going on in the inside of your body? Is it a realistic goal?
Yeah.
And even the spiritual mindset, like, do you feel like you are motivated, consistent? Do you have the time? Is this aligning with your spiritual lifestyle? Is this something God maybe told you to do? Did you have a heart attack? Did you have a health scare? What happened? Like you said, what is the reason you're starting a new health journey? That's the
Yes.
important thing.
Yes.
What is the main reason? And that's, I think, when you know your reason, the outcome is going to be a lot better.
And I love the fact that she said you got to know your reason
Mhm.
because that is going to help with where you're going, what direction you're going. It actually goes right into the next question I was going to ask you. Many people struggle with motivation,
Mhm.
especially when life gets busy.
Mhm.
What practical advice do you give your clients to stay committed?
Yes. So because I'm a transparent person. If you know me, you know I just say it. I just give it to you because I think people relate to real versus trying to sugarcoat it and try to protect their feelings. I tell them from door, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you start a meal plan and you cheat or you fall, I'm going to say, well, we got to start over. If you're not ready, let's not start, because what you're doing is you're not mentally ready to do something that's going to require a long-term goal. So one practice that I do is I let them understand, especially with eating and sleep, I get to their mental first. Let's talk about your mental health. Let's talk about your day to day. Who takes care of you? Right? If
Mhm.
you take care of you best than anyone, that's a problem in life overall. If we take care of ourselves more better than anyone else, I've learned this a long time ago, that's not good. So if you have children, if you have the job, if you're the only one participating with cleaning your house, keeping up with the kids, going to work every day, because these are obstacles. These are reasons why people don't take care of themselves, is because there are obstacles. Are you making an hour for yourself a day for your spiritual, mental, and physical health? And that answer, if it's no, well, we have to change that first, because we have to find a time slot every day that you can give yourself. That's the first thing. And if you can't make an hour for yourself a day, and I'm not talking about working out for an hour, I'm talking about spiritual, mental, and physical. All go an
Mhm.
hour a day for yourself to say, I don't care if you wake up and got to pray for 35 minutes, pray for 10 minutes, meditate, and then eating good, and then doing your workout. It all goes, it's a package. You can't do one without the other, to where it has to become a lifestyle. And
Mhm.
that's how I train them. I say, hey, if we can't make an hour a day, and I only really require for a successful plan is 3 to 4 days out of the week. So if you can't give yourself an hour mentally, spiritually, and physically, it's not going to be as successful as you think, because it's a lifestyle, it's a mindset, it's changing and knowing who you are, and it's knowing your worth, and do you want to live?
Right. Come
Live
on
right
now. That's
now.
the end. That's the question right there. Do you
Do you
want to
want
live? Because she pointed out some good things for people to really look at.
to?
Because I feel like sometimes people bring in a coach, a fitness coach, or go to the gym for
Mhm.
something to do. I just want to do this. No, your mindset has to be, I have to do this for me. I have to carve out time
Mhm.
intentionally to be able
Mhm.
to help myself first. Let me spiritually get ready, let
Mhm.
me mentally be in a position to receive
Mhm.
coaching, to receive a personal trainer, to receive someone in my life,
Mhm.
because sometimes people they have they're like, how can I say, this is what I do every day and I don't want to change it. They're like,
Stuck
so
in their ways.
come
Mhm.
on.
Yes. Yes.
And you got
Yes.
to break that. So what she's saying is break that cycle. See
Mhm.
right now, while you're listening to this message, are
Mhm.
you in that cycle? Are
Yeah.
you in the cycle of I'm gonna do it my way or no way? Yeah,
Mhm.
you can bring somebody in, you can hire somebody in, but sometimes people bring somebody in because I have just a little time. No, you have to
Yes.
really be intentional about time, about giving yourself and moving yourself from the norm. You've been spent everywhere. You're taking care of the household, you're going to work, you're doing this, but what
Mhm.
are you really doing for yourself? So
Mhm.
the way she said it, you know, is a checkup from the neck up, as we used to say when we were younger. This is the time for you to say before you do anything, okay, and let me look within myself. And if you find yourself in any of these categories that we're talking about, it's okay to repent. It's okay. You
It's
can do it.
okay. Yes.
Now I'm gonna ask you this. What would you say to someone who feels intimidated by
Yes.
fitness,
Yes.
okay, or believes it's too late for
Mhm.
them to start?
Great question. One, it's never too late. And intimidation is one of the main reason why, especially women, do not, one, get a coach or a fitness trainer or go to a gym. And the reason why is obvious. Women deal with things that make us insecure. You know, it makes us shameful and it makes us not feel comfortable because we're looking at somebody who is physically fit and could be attractive too. You know, that's even more intimidating. And they feel like getting around that environment, like a gym or even a fitness trainer or coach, could be intimidating. And then they'll feel body shamed. They'll feel body shamed because it's like what is put on them in the plan that's been implemented. It's almost like, again, that's why that first thing is very important, that you are ready. Your mindset is not looking at it as a negative. It has to be, I'm ready to take the heat. I'm ready to have someone tell me if you're not in the right mindset and you're coming in for the wrong reason and you're not sound within yourself, like your self-worth, which comes with, again, with my coaching tool, is especially with women, allowing them to understand their worth, you know, their self-worth. And you are beautiful and wonderfully made just the way that you are. Let's better that with the way that we look. And so, I mean, I've had people actually say to me, you don't know what it's like to be overweight. So how do you train overweight people? Well, again, it's a mindset, and I'm not going to apologize for caring and seeing where things go wrong in people's health and in their life. Knees, you gain so much weight, you get knee injuries, you get knee aches. And it's like, I know this. Why would I want to experience that? Why would I wait till it gets to a situation to where now I have to seek medical emergency help? No, I'm not going to do that. And so when I talk to people, I literally talk to them like this, like, okay, so you eat fried food 3 days of the week, and then you eat fast food, you don't cook, you drink soda, you know, you don't get good sleep, you're tearing your body apart. Is that what you want for yourself? Like, I just give it to them. And I give it to them because it's real life. It's real, like sugarcoating is, you know, you're great just the way you are. No, I'm lying to them. You're not great the way that you are. You're going to die soon. I mean, anybody can walk outside and get hit by a car. Tragedy, you know. However, if we can contribute to taking care of our temple that God placed us in, I mean, the intention is to live longer, but understanding this is what we were placed in to live in. This is God's assignment for us to take care of. Therefore, when we don't, and I've mentioned this before and got some heat on it, I feel like it's a sin. I feel like it's a sin because this is the temple of what he gave us to live in. And I don't care about it. I put anything in it. I don't take care of it. I neglect it. No, I don't think that's God's will for his people, especially because this is what we have to live in. And so when we don't take care of it, you know, it's just cutting down the tree. It's cutting down the tree. And so when that mindset comes in of intimidation and all of that, you know, that's why we have consultations. A lot of fitness instructors and trainers have consultations, and they should, because it gets to the bottom of, I don't want to waste your time and I don't want you to waste my time. Where are you mentally with this?
Right.
I'm going to sit there and push you, but I can't push you if you're not going to let me push. Like, I can only do so much. If you,
Exactly.
it's like slapping a dead horse. I can't make you do anything. I can give you the real. I can give you the tools. I can coach you. I can let you know what? That's not good for you, but let's try it this way, you know? And if what I'm doing for whatever reason does not work for you, let's change it. Let's switch it up. And if I don't know the answer, let me get right back to you because I want to learn and find out and make sure this is good for you. And I think when people are placed in something where it's just, this is it, there's no changing it, there's no modifications, that's also intimidating. Like, this is the workout. This is what it looks like. If you can't do that, then I can't have, no. And that's the pros and cons to a fitness trainer versus a fitness coach, because they know a certain way. Fitness trainers just know a way, you know, they don't coach it because they don't know the knowledge behind why did you choose that way versus this way for a specific type of person. That
Listen.
that can be intimidating. And so when you see somebody has the word fitness behind their name, research and see if they're a coach or if they're just a trainer, because do they have the knowledge of nerve issues? Do they have the knowledge of what water weight looks like? Do they understand what different medications do to your body that causes the weight gain? It's a real thing. I have one of the questions on my consultations is are you on any medications? And some of it causes mood swings, some cause anxiety, some cause weight gain. And it's like, well, this is the problem. Let's see. I've gone to the doctor with clients because I want to see if there's something else, if they need this particular medication, is there something else we could put them on that don't allow them to have weight gain with water weight?
Listen, I have to stop with her because she said so much again in her answer. I love the fact that she said there is a difference between a fitness trainer and a fitness coach. And there may be somebody out there who all they have experienced was a fitness trainer who then discouraged you, because somebody may have been discouraged because if they've gone to different fitness trainers and most are alike with their routine, then I can see how someone can be discouraged because there's no flexibility. It's a regimen, as she said. It's the way they know how to do. I like the fact also that she said it's good for you to do research. Never thought about that, because when, especially the difference between the coach and the trainer, because the coach will have flexibility. They can meet you where you are. They now have knowledge of more than just, a regimen. And so I'm glad she mentioned that, because when you begin to invest in someone to help you in your journey, you need to know a little bit more about them and what they stand for. And she said she would go with her clients to the doctor to hear about medications and what regimen they have to stay on because of their health. That is great. Not a lot of people is out there, but there are people that's doing this. You just have to research and talk to them. The consultation part is important when you're about to invest in your life and your health. I say that too. I am a coach, I'm a life coach, and the consultation in the beginning matters, because now you're able to hear their heart. You're able to hear what they have to say. You're able to begin to share something that's on you, and then how do they approach it? And so you don't have to feel obligated because they have a title, but it's in the research that you want to seek after about how are they going to support me in every aspect of my life. So thank you for sharing that with us and the difference between. And we talked about this, we touched on a lot of this as I go down to a few more questions. I don't have a lot more to say because we shared a lot, but we talked about this a little bit. But what role does discipline play in both spiritual growth and physical health?
Absolutely. I think discipline plays a commitment role. And the reason why is because, again, if we know we have to go to work every day and make a certain amount of money to pay our bills, to provide for our families, it's discipline. You're going to get up every morning. You're going to be on time. You're going to execute what your duties are at your job. When it comes to physical health, mental health, spiritual health, it's the same type of discipline. It's just a matter of a lifestyle. You have to incorporate it into your life. It has to be consistent, because if you start something, anything, a relationship, it doesn't matter what you start in your life. I don't think as adults that you're going to start it if you don't see an outcome positive for you, that benefits for you. We just don't. Human nature don't allow us to do that. If you see it's going to put you in a cliff at the end, you're probably not going to do that. You get old enough and you learn, you live and you learn, okay, if I do this or go this way, I'm going to fall. But if I go this way, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's the same concept with physical fitness. If you know this is going to help you long term, get from being you're going into you're going to eliminate diabetes, you're going to eliminate water weight in your knees, you're going to eliminate the sluggishness that you feel when you wake up in the morning, you're going to eliminate weight. If that's what you really want for yourself, it's worth the discipline. It's worth you saying, okay, enough is enough. I've been to the doctor. I've had health scares. I can't sleep at night. I don't like how I feel. I don't like how I look. Nothing fits, and it comes with other things. Do you know that when you physically are not taking care of your body, other things come with that, like stress, depression, anxiety, things that the devil want for us that we don't want for ourselves, because we get down on ourselves. We get down on ourselves, and we start not encouraging ourselves. We stop our affirmations for ourselves because we forget that this temple is what we have to live in. And if you look at it as I have to take care of myself, and I get to take care of this body. God's plan for us is that we do that. And I mentioned God because, again, that's how I live my life. I feel like this is what God's plan is for us. And so when I learned, well, I'll wait to probably you answer that question later, but I think it has to do with just making it a lifestyle. I think and incorporate it in a way that you incorporate everything else that you do every day and have to do. You have to eat. You have to feed your kids. You have to put gas in your car. The discipline you have to do that, it has to be a part of your lifestyle. It can't be looked at as secondary because it's in your life. It's on your calendar. I have to get up and meditate. I have to stretch. I have to walk on the treadmill today. I have to take a walk outside. It has to be on your calendar. It's part of your life. And so the discipline part of it is just wanting it. It's wanting not to fail. It's wanting not to lose your job. It's wanting not to lose your relationship. It's wanting not to be spiritually connected. You have to take the same approach when it comes to health and wealth and fitness. It's the same thing. And so I just think that consistency is just knowing I'm an adult. Enough is enough. Like, I'm not going to go out like this, And, have you ever seen someone and they said to you, because I know you take care of yourself as well, and they'll say to you, I used to look like that. And as transparent as I am, I say, well, I'm sorry, what happened? So I used to think this is going to happen to me too, because so many people say that. I used to look like that. I used to do. So I'm sorry, did I miss something? I don't know how to receive that. And it's like, that has been my fear, that was normal. And so when I heard it growing up so much, and, people, what happened? And that was your normal. You didn't get on top of that. Nothing shamed you in that. And so, and again, I'm just very transparent. I just feel like this is a thing. I mean, I heard it my whole life. I used to look like that. I used to be shaped like that. But you're 355 pounds. What happened? And in my head, I gather a lot of concern, like, so that's going to happen to me. If that happened to you, I didn't see it as, wow, this has everything to do with a lifestyle. They chose to live their life not to care, and then let it go.
And let me say this, I have to interject because this is so good. Listen, I heard something that she said that I have to address. I feel like people say that and they feel that it's okay because they got older. Yes. And sometimes I feel like when people get older, they feel like this is it. There's nothing else that I could do because my metabolism have slowed down. And because of that, anything that I eat just slaps onto my arms, slaps onto my thighs, slaps onto my stomach. My face got fatter, and there's no way for me to get down from this. And so in their moments that they have in their life, they seem to forget about themselves, because whether it's motivation, whether they feel like it's the age and, age and
Mhm.
growing, older
Mhm.
is their excuse
Mhm.
or their stand on, um, that's
Yes.
how I used to look.
Mhm.
This is how I am now, and there's no turning back. You
Mhm.
know, that's I that's not true.
Not true.
um a person still can have a certain weight on them, but you
Mhm.
could be healthy.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not saying that you have to look skinny and, oh, the skinny person
Mhm.
is healthier than this person that's, size 14, 16. No, but
Mhm.
what we're saying is that you can, with your age growing older,
Yes.
still
Yes.
have a healthy lifestyle.
Mhm.
And you still can do things in your life that can change that. And with you, you also helped your mom, I believe, with
Mhm.
things for her,
Mhm.
as she's, older.
Mhm.
And that should be an encouragement to someone
Mhm.
also that's in that age range, that you're not tossed like lint. You're not
Yes.
tossed away because you hit a certain age and now, it's too late for you. No. And I
Right.
feel like that's that answer that you've been getting all your life. And from people, I believe that they lost something in themselves to say
Yes.
that, to not even feel like they're worthy
Yes.
of that losing of weight or just being healthy. You mentioned it earlier in our conversation
Mhm.
about being worthy. You were talking about, as a coach, you begin to help them see themselves
Mhm.
differently. And I applaud you with that, because I think that's the essence that has been lost.
Mhm.
And those people in the comments, if those that are watching, have it ever happened to you? Have you felt like you've lost your way because of maybe the people in your life, or what you may have saw,
Mhm.
of something that you thought you couldn't accomplish? Was
Mhm.
your value um just down? Chat in the comments, put it in the comments. What you do, you say that was a yes to you? Do you now feel better with there's options out there for me? Because back in a certain time, it was few options for African American women, let's just
Mhm.
say minorities, to have access to certain things. But now there's so much access. And so our hope is
Mhm.
that you feel better about yourself to do something about it. So, I just wanted to say that, because if you've heard it all your life, there were people who looked, they in their mind, I look good, I look that way,
Mhm.
and life happened,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
here, this moment, this episode is to help you see that you have value, you have
Yes.
worth. I
Mhm.
don't care if you're 70
Mhm.
watching this show. I don't care if you're 65 watching this show. You can change. You
Yes.
can bring health in your life for just a step or two.
Mhm.
A change, just one change at a time,
Mhm.
can make the difference. So,
Mhm.
um, this is going to be kind of like the last question.
Can I just add to that really quick what you just
Please
said?
add, please add.
Um, I had worked with a lady who had 4 kids, married, beautiful home, beautiful life, beautiful, successful. And I had a meeting with her whole family before even starting her training. And I would go to her for her personal training, 3 to 4 days out of the week, meal plan preparation, everything. And I sat down with her kids and her husband and I said, you know what? Do you guys want your mom around? Do you love your mom? Because she was having issues that was contributing to her weight gain. And so, and they all said, yeah, yeah. I said, you guys have to give her this hour. When I am here, it is not mommy time. It is physical fitness time for her. She has to get this off of her. She has to do this to take care of all of you. And if you want her around, you have to give her the space to do that. And they was like, yeah, absolutely. And they would come down and they would work out with her and do her regimen. And I was fine with it. But it's like, we have to start to change and look at it like what you said, value, especially as a mom, as a wife, as a, contributing to taking care of our families. Women tend to get the short end of the stick to be able to keep all this up, but it's definitely required because guess what? They go out and look at this. This is what's visibly appealing to everyone. So why can't we do that for our spouses? Why can't we do that for the people that we love and care for? And so it is very possible. Just understanding a support system is a great tool as well.
I love that. Thank you for chiming in on that support system. And she said this earlier, you're not an island.
Right.
We need to be peninsulas, where you're connected to another island because we cannot do this all by ourselves. We need the support of people that we live with because they are going to be the ones that can literally see you and have some kind of accountability to you as well. So I love the fact of the support that she shared. This last question is, what is one small, realistic step someone can take this week to improve their overall health?
Yes. I will say sugar. I would say to tell yourself, and again, that question can go one or two ways. It can go to actually a habit to change, or do you want me to say something that like a mindset?
Oh man, both if you want to share both of mindset
Yes.
and then body.
Yes. The first thing is determining somewhere in your week your worth and understanding how long do you want to live. I tell everybody I'm going to live till I'm 103 because I'm so intentional to make sure I pray and ask God, if you allow me to live till I'm 103, I will take good care of myself. I will do things for myself and for people that I love to make sure that that happens. Mindset. So one thing in your life to change your mindset of if you've been in a place, even a dark place, to start to execute and eliminate that place, because that is going to eliminate your long-term goal and where you find your worth and your wealth and your value in yourself. So the mindset this week would be, let me change, if I'm unhappy with my sleep regimen, let me start to change that. If I'm unhappy with the fact that I have no boundaries, whatever it is, let's address our mindset first to be healthy, because mental health is a real thing. Mental health is a real thing. And so work on your mental health first. Make sure you're happy, you're loved, and you're doing it for yourself. And finding whoever is loving you to get them close to you, because when it starts, and you start to change that one little habit that you're doing that is not contributing to good health, they have to be there to support you. I mean, my son, when I tell him I got to lose 5 pounds this week and he see I'll go in the kitchen and grab a cookie, he'll come snatch it. Mom, you can't have that. You said you can't have that. And I'm going to make sure you don't. He said to me the other day, when you go to the grocery store, let's not buy any sweets. Let's just do fruits, vegetables, our protein. And it's like anytime you have someone in your household that can contribute to knowing there's a goal, get your kids involved. Don't eliminate them just because they have their snacks. Let's say, hey, instead of fruit snacks this week, we're going to do apples. Just start small. Don't make something so big until your mind is ready, because it's gonna discourage you when it's like, oh, they ate burgers, I'm gonna eat a burger. No, everybody's eating, and it doesn't have to be nasty. Like my meal plan and preparation is delicious. It's if you can cook and if you're good at it, there's so many recipes. Instead of eating out 3 days a week, let's take away one of those. Again, start small. If you eat fried food a lot, let's just try baked. The one day that you did, let's start small, baby steps, and don't set these outrageous goals, and then don't tell other people, because especially if you're a working person, I'm on a diet today. That's the only day they're having a potluck. That's the only day they're bringing you some cookies and cream ice cream. It's a thing. I don't know what it is, but the moment people know that you're trying to be intentional about your health, they start doing it. Just happens randomly. It never happened before, but all of a sudden they're going to Godiva chocolate. And, oh, I thought of you today. You couldn't do that 3 weeks ago when I wasn't caring about my health. Don't tell people what your journey is, because people will discourage you. Oh, girl, you look just fine. You don't have to do that. Stop letting these little people no, don't tell anybody. Like, focus on yourself. Wait until you're actually in it to say, okay, I got this. And when you start to tell people, then especially people that you love and close to you are intentional about caring about you, they'll support you. But you're going to get a lack of support when you're prematurely in it, because people see it as, oh, you don't need to lose weight. You don't need to change that. You don't, girl, please. You got one life to live. It's so discouraging. And it's like, well, they're right. Why? Why am I doing this? And then now we're back at square one. So, mindset, habit, discipline, and understanding your support system and the people around you are going to be the influence around how successful you are. And so if you don't have that, align yourself and maybe find a group or a club or something that you can, somebody that does understand. And again, that's why I said research is big. I'm a huge research person. If I don't know the answer, I'm researching it. And I just don't go on Google. I will go find the best book. I will call people. I will look up the Mayo Clinic and say, hey, well, what are they doing with this? Because there's so many methods out there. There's natural methods, there's not natural methods. And it's like, you can get yourself in a worse state just looking it up and not actually experiencing it for yourself. And so surround yourself with a good support system for sure, and take baby steps and understand you can do it. You got this. Like, and with God, all things are possible, and sometimes people get scared with the whole, quoting scriptures and religious thing. He made us. I'm sorry. He made us. I'm not going to deny. He made us who we are. And whether you love him or not, know him or not, get to know him. Because if you have the love of God in you and no one else, God wants you here. His desire for us is to care about our physical, mental, and spiritual health. So
exactly.
That's his.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. She said, invite him in, and you can invite him in many ways, because we cannot do a lot of things on our own.
Right.
This is a faith-based health talk show, and it's not. I don't know what else is out there. I just had to be obedient to the Lord when He told me to start this last year. But our foundation is Christ, and when you bring Him in, because I think sometimes people bring Christ in 80% of their life, or 60%, and they feel like they could do the rest. Oh, I got this, I got the 40%. No, bring Him in for every aspect. You feel like you can do it? No, He will show you ways that you didn't think that you would ever know of.
Right.
And so just invite Him in, and having, like she said, the support that you need is key in that. And so with that being said, how can people connect with you and learn more? Do you have a website? And the resources that you have, do you have, if you have a website, do you have other websites or books or resources that you would like to share at this time? Because we will drop these things in the comments, people. So no worries in that. So
yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have a website. It is called jwayfitness.com, and it's jwayfitness.com. That name came from my firstborn son. I was struggling really bad as a single mom. And I was taking a walk on the lake one day, and I was telling God, I have so much to give to the world, and I want people to know what I know, because I've been very intentional about physical health and seeing people die and seeing people gather and get diseases and die from it and then get worse. And it made me more intentional about caring to help people. And so God put it in my spirit one day. I was taking a walk on the lake, and I said, I have a desire to help people. And He said, name your business J-Way. My first son's name is Jalen. And so that's where J-Way comes from. So J is the way, basically. And so that's where I got my business name, jwayfitness.com. Again, it took a few years till I was able to launch a website and do it right. And this is a second website that I've had launching it. And again, I have an extensive background in physical fitness, coaching, and training, and also working as general managers at a gym, several gyms. And I didn't like that. I didn't like being having a strategic, specific way to train people. I don't think that was beneficial with the type of clientele that I had. I have helped people over 50, over 60, over, I think my oldest client was 86 years old. And I found water aerobics for her. Would go take her in the aerobics to help her with her joints, help her get strong again. And so there is a will, there's a way. It's never too late. You just have to trust the person that you're working with, because if their only background is training, they just want you to lose weight. They could care less about your nerves. They can care less about your medication. They can care less about your meal preparations and your sleep habits and you. And that's not taking anything away from people who only do that, but there are different levels of training that you have to research and learn. What do you really want? I am a fitness coach. Therefore, I have a extension of knowledge and tools that I give clients that I personally train hands-on, and I also do Zoom. So my website can be for people who are out of state. You can log on, you can get a meal plan, and you can actually meet me face-to-face with a Zoom if you're in other states. I have traveled out of states to do personal fitness and training with people because that's what they wanted. They sought me out and they learned, would you fly out to train me? Absolutely. So if that was what you're intentional about and that's what you want to do, you have to want it. I mean, you have to want to put the work in, because I can give you all the tools. If you don't put the work in, it's just wasted information. And so, and that's what happens. We get discouraged and we find, oh, well, I'll support, I'll pay, but I'm not going to do the work. I don't want your money then. I don't want your money because this isn't a good, quick, rich scheme or anything like that. I've never done it just because of money, ever. I have to honestly say that, because I've seen the need of people wanting help, and there's no dollar amount for that. You can't put a cap on someone's health, someone's fitness, someone's life. And so that's how I've always viewed physical health and fitness and coaching, because yeah, health regimen, but what if they get hurt? What if they, there are liabilities out here, and sometimes trainers don't care. You shouldn't have did that. Okay. Well, you should have researched your trainer, because that's not what they specialize in. So, and you can't sue them because they have laws against that. And so just, do your research and know who you're training with, and know that they're intentional about you as a person and your life, and what there's, now you may just need to eat better. If you just need meal plans, I got that too. I created a meal plan that was designed to help you lose 30 pounds in 30 days. And the reason why it's so high is because it is a calorie deficit cut that was approved by a doctor. And when I go to the doctor with my clients, they say, this is great. They have no negative to say. They say, wow, if it works, this is great. If they feel better, if they no longer have to take this med because they're doing this, and there are some health risks with calorie deficit diets. So again, when you talk to a coach, they will explain all of that, but just do your research and know who you're working with, knows what they're talking about, knows what they're doing, and it long-term benefits you. If it doesn't benefit you for your dollar, I'm sorry, it's not worth it, because it causes other problems. So, and again, there's a lot of fitness trainers out there. There's a lot of different methods out there. I've done a lot of them. To be able to learn more, because I love learning about it. So, but I'm intentional about it. I love being in the field of health and wellness. And I just think it's so much knowledge that people aren't told. And we don't have access to it, because for one, when you say, for a long time, I had people ask me, do you take food stamps for a meal plan? Like, to pay me? And I want to come to boot camp, but I can't afford it. And, for years I was like, just come, just come, just show up. It's fine. Sometimes people pay double just to, pay their weeks up. And sometimes we maybe get somebody to sponsor, or somebody to pay for you, or we can work a deal out. And I did that for years. And when I learned the value in my tools, I was like, wait a minute, you got people charging thousands of dollars of this, and they're supporting that. They find the money to do that. So I stopped devaluing myself and saying, you know what I cost is reasonable, because I value what I do. And so when you have a business, you have to value what you do. And it's not trying to beat people out of anything. It's for what I do, and I implement the knowledge and coaching that you'll get is my time. And so I feel like I am definitely worth what I ask. And so I've been told you should raise your prices. I'm like, no, I think this is feasible. And so I think it's feasible. And so, but people are like, really? I used to charge $5 for boot camps, our boot camps outside, and I provide all the equipment. And people didn't understand that. Why do you charge $5? Because I want people to understand this is real. Like, just do it for $5. What are you losing? You are spend that on a 4 for $4 at Wendy's. Come work that out and have some fun, you know? And so that's no longer. But again, I started from bare minimum because I wanted people to understand this is not for the dollars. This is for your life. And
Life.
so God gave me to do that. And again, I take myself more seriously. So now it's like, you know, I do have a website. I do have a business in it. And I hope that people understand, you know, you have haters out here. People don't want you to succeed. People don't want you well. People don't want to see you survive. And they'll find reasons to discourage you. And don't let that stop you. Don't let that be the reason you don't care about your health. And again, surround yourself with people who love you, care for you, and tools that's going to long-term invest in your life.
Come on now. Love it, love it, love it. She had mentioned that she, in the beginning, has started to help people with doing the program or doing the boot camp for $5, food stamps, and all of that. And now it's time to move forward and individuals invest in yourself, because sometimes people want to find an excuse. Oh, you too high, or oh, you know, it costs and I don't have it. But let's be intentional about ourselves and investing in yourself for dividends. Okay. You want to see change, you want to see transformation. It's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you your time. It's going to cost you you know, the way you think. Something's going to cost you if you want the results that you're looking for in life, period. Regardless of that, even if you go to the grocery store or if you see a magazine or whatever, you're going to invest in that. Oh, I want this or whatever, an app on your phone that you may want. You're going to pay into it. In other words, pay into something that's going to benefit you health-wise, spiritual, and mentally. That is the thing that we want to walk away with, and value yourself enough to invest so that you can see growth, so that you can see benefit coming from it. So she mentioned that she has a website and she has clients that she does Zoom calls with if you're out of state. She does live in Minnesota, so just know that when you go on the website. And then do your research, as she said, do your research with what's out there, what you're looking for, and all of that. So if you do not have any other articles, books, or resources, and I'll say, if you do, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. The website, pretty much, I'm a really simple person. I have a long-term goal to actually write a book because I want people to understand what transparency in health looks like, because I think what happens is people are scared. They don't like to talk about it because it is intimidating. It's a intimidating discussion, and it makes you feel uncomfortable to not know. So people think just because you don't know something doesn't mean you can't do it. And so I want to break that cycle. You know, I want to break that cycle of, you know, just because we can't and we feel like we can't do something, we knock it. We don't support it. We don't. But there are so many ways that we can be better every day. We can learn something every day. And so I literally, and I know it's God telling me, like he told you, like, write the dang book, like write the book, like, and it will address some of the things I had to endure in taking myself seriously and understanding that you have gifts because you're supposed to share them with the world. And if you don't do that, you've wasted your purpose. And so I'm trying to move into my purpose even more, learning that, wow, anybody, my friends, my family go to the hospital, I show up. And you know why? Because I'm talking to that doctor before they touch you. I'm talking to that nurse as I want to ask the right questions to get you the right help, because I'm sorry, but the medical field has been, it's sad what's happening to us as people, even of color. And if you don't have an advocate for yourself going into these hospitals, you may not see your loved one come out. And I know that's a deep topic. I bought this doctor's book that tells us about the industry of healthcare and how they have done some things that he got out because of it. He got out because he knows these secrets and things that they implement in healthcare and people don't know, and they trust someone who may not be in the hands of God. And so, if somebody's going in surgery, can I pray for you, doctor? Because hey, I don't know you. You went to school to learn what you learned, but you can make a mistake. And
Right.
so, it's called practice for a reason. And so I think that I'm very strong about that. Anybody who knows me knows if they are going to the doctor, they'd be like, Drake, you come with me? Because I'm there because I want to make sure you have an advocate and someone to ask the right questions to make sure they're getting the proper care. That's again a whole nother topic. Uh, but yes, I'm intentional. I'm real. I'm going to always be authentic. And I want to write about that. I want to expand where I stand when it comes to, people just want to know and nobody's going to just say it. I'm going to just say it. So that's
Well, yes, we support your endeavors in the book, and we can definitely, um, and people in the audience, when you get to that place and point where you have to do what you have to do, you're hearing from God, and God is instructing you to do something. It's now time to buckle up and get started on what He is telling you to do, because it's not only for you, but it's for others, and their life is important as well.
yes.
Well, I am so excited and happy about my guest. Again, like she said, I'll share this short story, but when I gave my life to Christ long time ago, bada long time ago,
Mhm.
her father was my pastor. And I grew under his ministry. And so that's how long I was 20.
Mhm.
That's how long it's been with me knowing her and her family. And that's a tidbit that I will share. But it's important for us to be able to hear from God, hear what is He saying, because one of the things that we have walked into this year, that is a word that we say in our ministry, with me and my husband, is urgency. This is the year of urgency. I
Mhm.
must, MUST, I must be about my Father's business. And this is something that, if you are feeling some type of way that you want to start this or start that, and the Lord is pushing you to do it, He's nudging you to do it, then get started. Baby steps, these things will happen for you. So
Mhm.
I'm so excited to have her come on the show. And who knows, you may see her again. We may talk about the subject of menopause,
Yes.
because it is important, because that is something that is not often talked about.
Right.
And who knows, we may, circle back around later in the year to talk about it, because it is an important topic to
Yeah.
talk about.
Oh my God.
So, with that being said, join us for next month as we share in regards to mental health. I do have a doctor coming on the Health Talk Show, a licensed Christian counselor, and we are just going to talk, have a good time with that show as well in April. So thank you all for coming on, tuning in. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the shares. Thank you all, and we will see you again soon. Stay tuned on the Health Talk Show. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are welcome. Definitely.